The Honourable Robin Scott.
Thank you, Madam President. I started in the FIFO industry in the early 80s. I did more than 3 decades in the industry and I enjoyed every single day of it. When I started, there were no mobile phones, there was no internet connections. You had to queue up behind maybe 20 guys to use the dial-up telephone, and you had to have a pocket full of $1 coins, and you were allowed a maximum of 10 minutes. So in those days, it was very, very uncomfortable. If you were lucky, you got a chair in your donger so you could hang your clothes over it. There were no fridges or telephones or televisions. It was very, very basic. But it's a lifestyle that you choose. Now, most of the guys I know that got divorced in the FIFO industry got divorced because they spent their 2 weeks on site every night drinking, living the life of luxury, and when they went home, they just did the same thing at home. They went home just drunk, didn't pay too much attention to their family, and that's why they got divorced, not because they were doing FIFO. This idea about FIFO destroying marriages, they would have got divorced whether the guy was working at Woolies or Coles. It's an absolute disgrace that the FIFO industry has been blamed for suicides, for breakups of families and marriages. Madam President, I can assure you I enjoyed my time very much and I was well rewarded for it, and I could have got out of it any time I wanted it. I could have got out of it 15 years ago. I could have retired 15 years ago. That was my plan, but I enjoyed it, and that's why I'll always back the FIFO industry. I would much rather that people were living in towns near mine sites, but there are mine sites in our state that are too far away from anywhere. They have to have FIFO, and that's why they have FIFO. It would be much better if the government would get rid of certain taxes to encourage companies near towns to set up their workers and their families so they can be home every night. Thank you.
Are there any further member statements? The Honourable Carl McGinn.
Look, I just need to say that from what I heard there is absolute load of rubbish.
Yeah, you'd know about it.
FIFO workers have got mental health issues right up this coast. 3,000 workers have been surveyed on this. And you telling me that they're all liars? Are you saying that their marriages are falling apart because they're alcoholics? Well, let's have a look at the facts. You've got 4 weeks on and 1 week off in some of these FIFO industries. It's an absolute disgrace. Leave. Okay, so when they get financially up to the hilt, because that's what they do, you might have been financially stable to take away from a member. You might have enough money and enough in the bank, but a lot of people don't, because the hardships at home and raising a family are harder than they used to be. And I have to say that for you to make them type of comments, you might know FIFO workers that are happy doing 4 and 1. I know plenty of workers. Oh, do you really? Is that right, member? Okay, how many do you know? Do you want to start measuring dick size now?
Order.
Bullshit.
Order. Do not use that kind of language. You can retract that and you can apologise. It's unparliamentary.
I retract it.
I apologise.
And apologise.
And apologise.
Thank you. And member, you had your say. It is really, really hard for Hansard to hear the member on their feet if people are yelling at each other across the chamber.
Thank you, Madam
The
President.
Honourable Carl McGinn.
It's not about who knows more FIFO workers. I've talked to FIFO workers that are struggling out there. It's been a well-known thing that's been highlighted in Western Australia. And I believe that there is definitely issues, and we know that from the 2 inquiries that have taken place, and we know that the suicides up there are issues and reasons for it. And I genuinely believe that if we had equal time rosters and short shift rosters, we'd see a better mental health state in the FIFO industry. I also believe that residential employment should come first. That is definitely what I stand for, and I think that all these towns should definitely have that. It's not here standing that everyone should be FIFO, it's just the reality that FIFO is going to be there because of the massive influx that comes with construction work. Thank you, Madam President.